So, The Last of Us Season 2 finished last month, and I'm going to go ahead and give my overall thoughts on the show. And the best way I think I can go about doing that is in the great, the good, and the bad type of way. But before we get into it, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button down below, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new, and with that out, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's start off with the great. I think that it's great that we meet Abby at the start because it works perfectly, and we get to see the aftermath of what happened in season 1, which is also very cool for the fact that they also foreshadowed Isaac being in the show before you even meet him. I like the way they nailed that perfectly well. The next thing that I also really liked is pretty much everything leading to the Jackson dance and Ellie's crash out at Joel at the Jackson dance. I think that's a very good place, so it just went word for word, bar for bar for the game. Now, the next thing that I really like is the idea that Dina and Joel are friends. I think that that is also really cool because we don't get a chance to see them talk in the game. So it's like, yeah, Joel has met Dina, but we don't get a chance to see her talk. Like, we don't get a chance to see like these two characters interact and talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a very cool thing that they did, along for the fact about Dina wanting to know why Ellie was mad at him, which brings a whole nother layer that to me the game just didn't do, because it seems like in the game they just ran over, like we get no talks whatsoever with them, and we have nothing in context of like what happened other than that. But along with that, I also really liked the infected war on Jackson in episode 2, and the way they handled Joel's death was one of the things that I was thinking about how they were going to handle the most. And in my opinion, they did it better than the game because we see Tommy trying to help everyone in Jackson from the infected breaking in, and we see him getting worried about Joel and where he is during the snowstorm, and the fact that once Ellie and Jesse find out that Dina and Joel were supposed to be back in Jackson after patrol to help in the infected war, I think that's a very cool thing. Everything about that episode was just great to me from start to end, with Tommy being worried and also not knowing about Abby's group until after, in my opinion, is done way better here because they actually nailed it perfectly. In my opinion, it's better in the game. Now, I can see why people wanted Tommy to know about Abby and her group, but like I said, it works both ways no matter which one you prefer. Now, the next thing that I also really liked was Isaac's backstory and how we see him join the Wolves from working with Fedra, which also adds another whole layer of detail to that truck once you get to Seattle day 1 with Ellie. I think that's very cool because they literally want it, because like there's dialogue in the game where Ellie really wanted to know what happened here. And this next thing that I really like, I do like the way they handled Ellie and Dina sneaking out of Jackson, but I will say that it was kind of fumbled, but it wasn't that bad. But the only main problem with episode 3 is a 3-month time skip, which is kind of pointless to me because Ellie starts her hunt 2 days after and sneaks out. So now on to the bad. I would have to start off with Manny guarding the city in day 1. I feel like Mike should have been there and Manny should have told them about what happened in Jackson and that Ellie and Dina are in the city and they need to be captured. Since it's very clear that they mixed Jordan and Manny's characters, not to mention that leaving Shimmer in the music shop and they are moving on foot again, that honestly means that they should honestly be captured and brought to the Serabina Hotel, or at most the elementary school. I feel like that should have happened because like that's just out of character right there. Like you have the WLF right there, and this is something that literally in the game is pretty much established that Jordan sent Mike out to go ahead and capture Ellie and Dina. Now, this next problem that I have is the Dina problem. In the show, she feels more like Ellie, and with her having to constantly remind Ellie that, hey, we came here to get revenge for Joel, when it's supposed to be the other way around. And also another thing too is that after Dina sees Ellie get bitten by one of the clickers, she threatens to kill her. While I see why, I'm not saying I see why because the context of it, Dina doesn't know that Ellie's immune, but why doesn't Ellie just bring up Tommy or Joel to de-escalate the situation like she does in the game? Or in season 1, since Joel told Tommy everything, so I guess we just forgot about season 1 in this part once they get to the theater then.
Maria and Tommy and Joel are the only ones who know. Knew.
Now, this is actually another problem that I really don't like, and you guys know that Jesse is one of my favorite side characters in The Last of Us 2, and this is actually a very big problem. So, while I do like the idea that he's basically Ellie's mentor in the show, he decides to vote no at the Jackson meeting to go help Ellie, to assemble a group to go help Ellie, which is way out of character because in the game, Jesse says that he came to help Ellie because of what happened to Joel, so I guess we're just gonna go ahead and forget this quote from the game then.
I looked up to Joel. What happened to him was messed up. I would have come. My friend's problems are my problems.
And keep in mind, Joel and Jesse knew each other before he died. Like, do I have to say it again? Before he died. So this makes no sense whatsoever. This Jackson meeting makes no sense. Now, the next issue that I have is actually the Stalker Hotel, and that is, why is a Stalker Hotel, Star Park, and hospital so close to each other? Which AP Nerds went over in his video where he said this.
Trio are literally escaping from the WLF, and once Dina gets injured, Jesse takes Dina away while Ellie conveniently finds the entrance to the hospital, and HBO literally skipped the entire action set piece of Ellie killing or evading the WLF inside the hospital and just makes us meet Ellie and Nora inside.
Now, the next problem is Ellie finding out that Joel lied, and it's completely made me lose it when he said that he wasn't going to kill Eugene and does it anyway. After he kills him, she finds out by putting 2 and 2 together, and it's like, okay, so tell me how she can find this out so quickly. But when she's in Seattle, she's completely not able to be resourceful, which again, AP Nerds went over in his video, which I will honestly agree with again too.
Fucking smart here, but during her time in Seattle, she's extremely dumb and is extremely incompetent. Oh, right. Because Neil Druckmann wrote this episode while Craig just seems to dislike Ellie throughout season 2.
And the 5th problem is Ellie's crash out should not have been so rushed. Like, it's literally like a on and off switch. Because in the game, by the time she kills Jordan, from day 1 to day 3, we see her slowly go into that mode. Whereas in the show, we had to wait until Ellie's anger popped out at episode 5. It feels off to me. Like, I feel like there were moments where her anger would not be there, because like by the time she gets to Nora, it's like the anger's out. And it's like, where was this when you tried to sneak out of Jackson and go to Seattle? Where was that anger at? It just literally felt like that was just, I don't know. And this last problem is truly the pacing, which is the exact same issue that I had in season 1, because there are a lot of scenes that just needed time to play out. And episode 2 of this season does that, plus another thing as well, is that rushing day 2 and day 3, like, could have easily been 2 episodes longer, at least like an episode longer to flesh out Ellie's side out a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Like, there should have been like canonically, like, day 2 should have been split. Like, us not seeing Hillcrest is just kind of pointless, which again goes against that. And I think that that's literally what we needed, was purely just pacing. Like, we don't get a chance to see anything play out. Like, they have Lake Hill in the game. This is probably like my nitpick. They have Lake Hill in the game, which translates to Hillcrest, but also the hospital. But it's like, why would you literally have the hospital there when you literally have day 2 rushed? And after you go to day 3, and day 3 is just randomly rushed out of nowhere. Now, all of these problems, I am very, very, very worried about season 3 and how they're going to handle Abby's side, because Craig said that there are going to be 2 more seasons to cover this. And if season 2 was rushed like this, and if all the characters are mistreated this season, has me a little bit worried for how they're going to handle Abby being the longest part ever, especially if you guys know Abby day 3 is literally like stated to be the longest chapter ever. Now, with that all being said, the fan side of me literally says, hey, this gets an 8 out of 10. But with all these unnecessary changes to characters, like, the realistic side of me is saying like a 4 or 3. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And do you guys agree or do you guys disagree? And other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Cool.